The last call from room 307. The rain had not stopped for 3 days. It poured over the empty highway like a curse that refused to lift. Neel drove alone, his windshield wipers fighting a losing battle against the storm. He hated night driving, but missing this route meant losing his job. And right now, he couldn't afford that. At 11:47 p.m., his phone lost signal. Moments later, his car engine coughed and died. Neel swore under his breath and stepped out into the freezing rain. In the distance, through sheets of water and darkness, he saw a dim yellow glow. A hotel. The sign flickered like it was struggling to stay alive. Ravenwood Inn. Neel hesitated. The place looked abandoned, its windows dark, its walls stained with age. But the rain was relentless, and he had no choice. As he pushed open the creaking door, a bell rang, loud and sharp, echoing through the empty lobby. Too empty. The air smelled of dust and damp wood. A man sat behind the reception desk, perfectly still. He wore an old-fashioned uniform and stared straight ahead. "Hello?" Neel called. Slowly, the man lifted his head. His eyes were pale, almost colorless. "Room?" the receptionist asked, his voice flat. "Yes." "Just for the night," Neel replied. The man slid a key across the counter. "Room 307, he said. "Do not answer the phone after midnight." Neel laughed nervously. "Excuse me?" But the man had already turned away. Room 307 was at the end of a long hallway. The lights flickered with every step Neel took. His footsteps echoed too loudly, as if someone else was walking behind him. The room itself was old but clean. One bed. One window. One phone on the side table. Neel checked the time. 11:59 p.m. He lay down, fully clothed, eyes heavy. The storm outside roared like an angry beast. Then, the phone rang. Neel froze. The clock read 12:01 a.m. The receptionist's warning echoed in his mind. His heart pounded as the phone continued to ring, louder, sharper, demanding attention. Against his better judgment, Neel picked it up. "Hello?" There was silence. Then a whisper. "You shouldn't be here." Neel sat upright. "Who is this?" A soft sob followed. Then a woman's voice. "They locked us in this room. We begged. No one listened." The line went dead. Neel stared at the phone, his hands shaking. He tried calling the front desk. No answer. He tried his mobile, no signal. Suddenly, the room grew colder. The bathroom door creaked open by itself. From the mirror, a handprint slowly appeared, pressed from the inside. Neel backed away, his breath visible now. Then the phone rang again. He didn't answer. The ringing grew frantic, violent. "Help US," multiple voices screamed through the receiver, without him touching it. The walls began to bleed dark stains, spreading like shadows. Faces pushed through the wallpaper, mouths open in silent agony. Neel screamed and ran. Down the hallway. Down the stairs. Into the lobby. The receptionist was gone. The front door would not open. Behind Neel, the bell rang again. Checking out, the receptionist asked calmly, now standing beside him. Neel turned. The man's face was no longer human. His eyes were hollow pits, his mouth stretched into something far too wide. "No one ever leaves room 307, he whispered. The next morning, the storm had stopped. A tow truck passed an abandoned car on the highway. Inside Ravenwood Inn, the lights flickered as a new key slid across the desk. Room 307. And the phone began to ring.